What's going on, Cash Sports? How y'all doing today? I'm coming at you live and early with NFL talk. That's right. We're gonna be talking some MVP odds today. I know I haven't been talking some football a lot. It's been hectic with me trying to talk about basketball, football, all these sports at the same time. And I am going to school full time along with my job on the side. So I try to give you guys as much videos as I can whenever I have the time to make videos. I just throw it out there, right? At least I like to engage with you guys. I like to live stream. I love to live stream. I like when people are involved. I love to engage in conversation. So I'm not, I'm not too biased. I can debate. People can come on the platform, and I have no problem with people disagreeing with me. So you already know. Hop on Cash Sports. We live in effect. But today we're gonna be talking some NFL MVP odds. So I do want to engage in this conversation because the NFL, man, it's been ramping up every week. There's been exciting things happening in league. As it pertains to the NFL MVP, and there's some players that we didn't think were going to be able to be in the conversation, to be honest with you. But and I am talking about Tua Tagovailoa. It's not that I thought the guy was completely shitty, but there was a lot of doubt that was going around the league. I didn't think he was a bad quarterback. I just didn't think he would be playing this well. But the Miami Dolphins, that GM, that organization, despite what they've been through in the past with the owner and all that stuff, they made some really good roster decisions. So, and it's not just Tua, but he's, one of the biggest subjects or one of the biggest players to be in this conversation as of recently, because number one, Tua Tagovailoa, when he's started and finished as the quarterback in a game, they are 7-0, which is really phenomenal, right? And then we can't forget about Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes coming into this year, some people said some things. I gotta own up to it. I said the Chiefs wouldn't make the playoffs, so I'm just being honest here. I know, bonehead decision. I was one of those people, but Patrick Mahomes is one of those players, that's here for the long haul. He's nice. What more can I say? And not that I doubted, his ability, but yet again, he's in the conversation to be NFL MVP once again. So I'm gonna enlarge this this little website right here, The Athletic. And so you guys can take a quick peek at the opening odds when the season started before week 10 and the current odds for this current moment, right? So for the person at the top is Patrick Mahomes. He opened up at plus 700. And then before week 10, he was plus 225. Now he's plus 125. So coming in this week, after this week, Patrick Mahomes, yeah, he certainly had like a really, really good week this past week, right? My fault. I had like a little brain freeze. But Patrick Mahomes, he had like I believe like 4 touchdowns in that game and only 1 interception, and possibly like 391 yards just this week alone. So Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs are looking like the best football team in the AFC, to be honest with you. Right now as of right now, sorry about that. The Chiefs, they're looking like the best team in the AFC. Nobody's really messing with them. Travis Kelce, with him being the best tight end in football right now, to be honest with you, he's playing like the best tight end in football. And not just that, Patrick Mahomes is playing like the best quarterback in football, right? So let me get the stats right. So he had 331 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. I remember he probably had like 3 touchdowns in the first half, I believe. And that one interceptions was really unfortunate. I think it was just like a mishap, a mess up on the play. It happens occasionally, but Patrick Mahomes, man, he's doing his thing. Even Juju Smith-Schuster. He got hurt, unfortunately, so he's probably going to be out for quite some time. But despite that, Patrick Mahomes is getting the ball out to every other receiver. He's spreading the ball. He's passing it to other guys. It's not just Travis Kelce. In some of these games that Travis Kelce are balling in these games, he'll have in that game he had like 3 touchdowns, but he only had like 25 yards receiving. So he was really just his goal line guy. But despite that, Patrick Mahomes was able to get it down the field by getting it to the other guys, and even in some occasions, Clyde's Edward-Helaire in their running game was able to get some things going. Right. So next person is Josh Allen. Right. He opened up as the favorite, as one of the favorites to win MVP this year. And then before, he week 10 he had a plus 250, and now his current odds are plus 500. Right. Josh Allen, he didn't have a particularly good week this week. Now he's leading this year in interceptions, and there hasn't been. He's had multiple games with multiple interceptions. Right, and we know he's owned up to it. Hold on, I even got some stats here I can even talk about. Okay, yeah. So he has 18 interceptions and fumbles. Only other quarterbacks to have more than him is Justin Fields with 19 and Matt Ryan with 20. Man. And then when it comes to most red zone interceptions and fumbles, he has 6. So, and no other quarterback has 5 or 4. So as of right now, I mean, I'm not saying, his play is falling off. We know coming into this week, he that he had a nagging injury. So there were some questions about whether he was going to be able to play. But fortunately for us, he was able to play and be healthy this week. But this game against the Vikings was very unfortunate on his behalf, at least as it pertains to his MVP odds. But I'm pretty sure he's not even really worried about that. I mean, at the end of the day, MVP is not the end all be all. We know the end game is for the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl, because I mean that's what they're all playing for to begin with, right? But MVP is nice, but currently at this moment, Josh Allen is not doing his thing. As far as coming up in the clutch, he's been able to turn over the ball, and they had some very unfortunate turnovers, especially the one on their own goal line where they had that safety against the Vikings. Like, you can't be having those sort of plays if you're trying to lock the game and seal that top seed. Because at this current moment, the Miami Dolphins are leading in the AFC East. And nobody thought that the Dolphins were going to be leading in the AFC East. I mean, you even had the Jets above Buffalo Bills. And nobody expected the New York Jets to have a better record than the Buffalo Bills, right? So another player now is Jalen Hurts. So I believe he opened up at plus 4,000, right? Nobody even expected him to be playing this well and to be in this conversation. But despite that, before week 10, he had a plus 250 odds, and now his current odds are plus 500, along with Josh Allen. All right, and Jalen Hurts, we're all aware of the game yesterday with the referees and their play and their foul calling, their penalty calling. It was god awful. I mean, that face mask, and then at that point, the Eagles were basically never able to get momentum in that game. But despite that, I don't think the Eagles are in a bad spot. I mean, come on now, that would just be plain ignorant for me to even say that. I mean, because the Eagles defense is certainly, despite the Eagles offensive mishaps, like their woes, because they were turning over the ball with that play Jalen Hurts made to that number 16. I forgot his name, but then he fumbled the ball. But that was a good play on the secondary's half, though, to be honest. But there were a lot of missed calls. The Eagles definitely made some mistakes that I don't think it's gonna happen too often, because I mean they matched their their turnover for the season yesterday alone. They coming into that week, they had 3 turnovers. Yesterday, they had 3 turnovers, right? As it pertains to Jalen Hurts, I think it was a hard fought game. I think the Washington Commanders, they were going to come out there, they were going to do their thing. They wanted it to be competitive because at the end of the day, this is a division game, So they are rivals. And then Jalen Hurts, came out, only had 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. You can't really compare that to somebody like Patrick Mahomes, who balled out. But I could still see Jalen Hurts in the conversation. He still had a rushing touchdown on the ground, but this week certainly didn't make his argument. Now, somebody that definitely needs to be in the argument is Tua Tagovailoa, which I stated in the past. His odds coming up were plus 15,000. Now, before week 10 is plus 2,000, and his current odds are now tied with Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen for plus 500. So Tua has been doing his thing. He's been balling. There was a big scare, with the whole situation. With the concussion and people were worried about Tua. They were even thinking, would he be able to even play for the rest of the season? But despite that, that doesn't even matter right now because now he's all in well. He's able to ball out, and now he has 2 receivers who are also balling out. Tyreek Hill, leaving the Chiefs and coming to the Dolphins, leading the league in receiving yards, and even Jalen Waddle's doing his thing too. Tua Tagovailoa has been playing accurate. His completion percentage is up there, and yesterday he completed 25 touchdowns. He completed 25 passes on 32 attempts. 285 yards and 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. See what I'm saying? So Tua's been balling. He's been doing his thing. And who's to say he can't be in that argument when the season's all said and done? But I can't wait for the season to start getting cold, because when it comes down to the cold, one of the Miami teams, that's when they start to fold. So we're gonna have to see what Tua is made of in the cold. He's a Hawaii boy. Played in Alabama, and now in Miami. So, and there's facts to prove that Tua doesn't play well in the cold, also. So, be on the lookout for that. Right. Next up is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson too, opening up at plus 2,200. Before that week was plus 1,000, and then the current odds are plus 1,200. So Lamar Jackson, he's been going up and down. We know that the Ravens have been plagued with injuries. And I think Lamar Jackson still has a chance. He can still be able to go on this run. Just what he's required to do for this team, and the things that's asked of him, especially with all the injuries that's been going on. It's Lamar Jackson, is quite frankly is this offense. He carries this offense. And so with Gus Edwards being out, the Ravens, they don't even have receivers. Most of the time they're passing to their tight end. And I'm not saying they don't have receivers. I've seen what these guys have been doing. I can't pronounce their names. I know Dillavy. It's hard. I'm a horrible man. I know it's more professional for me to be knowing these names. But the Ravens are 19th in offense and 15th in defense. So they're like in the middle of the pack. But when it comes to their passing, they're 28th, but third in rushing. And so we know how the Ravens go about their offense. It's not all about the passing game. It's always about Lamar's legs and him being able to occasionally make plays through the air. But you know how it goes, man. If Lamar Jackson seeks to be in the MVP running, we need to see what he did in his MVP year. Because he was making plays in the air and on the ground. But he was on a bye week, so and then now you got Joe Burrow. He was on the bye week. They're trying to make ends meet. Kirk Cousins also been balling out also. And you guys can take a look at it here. I'm getting it from the Athletic. All these odds are taken from BetMGM, so you guys can take a quick peek here. It's all right there. Kirk Cousins definitely doing his thing. I don't see him even with that game of the week with the Bills. I don't see them being able to Kirk Cousins to win an MVP. But he's definitely, resurrecting himself. And, Kirk Cousins, I always thought he was a decent enough quarterback. Not MVP like, but definitely a guy who needs to put his name out there as maybe a good to average quarterback. He's probably like in the same category as like Derek Carr. If Derek Carr had that defense and those weapons on offense. Derek Carr does has weapons on offense, but their defense has been god awful too. Geno Smith, he wasn't even on the board for MVP. Off the board. But now his name is thrown out there and been playing well. Justin Herbert, they lost to the 49ers, so his chances went down. Tom Brady, it's looking like Father Time has come for Tom Brady. I mean, but he's been playing all right considering where he's at. But you had a lot of receivers dropping balls though. So it's not all Tom Brady. I'm just saying that I see this as Tom Brady's last year, to be honest with you. But the Bucs can still be a dangerous team. They just need to be running the football. But the Bucs and Tom Brady will be all right. So Tyreek Hill, only way he can win MVP is if he has 2,000 yards receiving. That's the only way it's going to work out. Any receiver to be MVP, you got to get 2,000 yards receiving. That's point blank period. But it could quite happen. It could happen here pretty soon. I'm not surprised. And then Justin Jefferson. Man, that one-handed catch was crazy. Let's be honest here. And I got Justin Jefferson's rookie card. So I'm excited to have that. And I'm very interested to see where the Vikings land this year as far as the playoffs are concerned, because they are a very good team. I know with Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson being on there, and it's expected for them to not win MVP. But this team is looking very, very, very interesting. And so I do want to see, what they're made of in the playoffs. Hopefully we can see some things, because I would be excited to see Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins in the Super Bowl. We'll have to wait and see, man. Definitely have to wait and see. Right? So I hope you guys enjoyed another video with me here talking about the NFL MVP odds. And there it is. So my pick, quite frankly, I'm gonna have to go with Patrick Mahomes. I'm just gonna roll the safe way. He's been balling, he's been doing his thing, and I don't see it stopping here pretty soon. So thank you all for watching Cash Sports. I graciously appreciate you guys tuning in. Remember, please like and subscribe to the video. I do stream quite often throughout the week, or I'm trying to keep up, the pace. So that's why I say hit that notification button, so whenever you guys can tune in, hey, tune in, man, because usually I drop the link in the comment section, and you see, so you guys can hop in. Right now I was just doing some NFL MVP debates, or the odds. So next time we can have a real NFL conversation. So thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good day. This is Cash Sports.